Hi, I'm Cassie Burton, and this is Curiosity Junkie. Today's guest creates happy art for lovely humans. She also has her own graphic design business working with art, culture, and lifestyle brands. Join us for a conversation about how to start your own business, learning to set boundaries, and the importance of saying no. Please welcome Jen Corcoran to the show. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the Curiosity Junkie podcast.
Hi.
I want to talk to you. I found you on Instagram, and I love your artwork, your positive message that you're putting out. Pretty much every day, you're putting something new and fun out. I also know that you have your own 2711 studio, a brand.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about what you do and how you got into it.
Okay, so I suppose going back to my early years when I was a little girl, I absolutely loved to draw all the time. I used to love to draw and read. Those were my two favourite things. And I don't know if it was a form of like escapism, but I absolutely loved to do that. So originally I actually wanted to be one of those special effects people, where they make if you was on a hospital program, you'd make all the real life sort of horrible looking injuries and things like that. I really wanted to do that. I don't know why, but I did. But when it came to the practicalities of trying to get a job, it came down to what could you actually probably do and get a job in it. And so I headed into graphic design. I originally sort of did art and design for my A-levels, hence the reading side of things, and then did graphic design as well. But I ended up choosing graphic design at university and studying that because that seems to be the normal thing to do. So I did that at university. And then went off and managed to get a job in a design firm, which was great. I started to learn what it's actually about, because even though when you go to uni, you don't learn. You do learn, obviously, you learn basics and the things that you need to sort of to get you on the way, but you only start learning once you actually get into the job. That's what I found anyway. So I was doing that, and then ended up setting up on my own with a business partner for about 10 years. That led me to a point where I either go and get a job or can continue working for myself. So I was at this funny sort of crossroads. And I remember going to a client at the time and I was like, oh, I'm going to go and get a job, I think, because I don't think I can do it on my own. And then he just said, you've been doing it, so go and do it yourself. Like, just go for it. So I did. And then nearly 4 years later, I've got my studio 2711. It's a design studio, which focuses on arts, culture, lifestyle, brands, that kind of thing. So I do a lot of graphic design work, but I also do a lot of hand lettering and sort of illustrations and things like that, just to get positivity out there. But it also helps me to be quite creative and express some things, whatever's in my mind at that moment, I'll draw it and put it out there into the world.
Yes. Well, I always love seeing them because they're so colorful and they're just playful and fun. And they always make me smile. And I think that's what everyone should be doing, seeing, thinking.
Yes, exactly.
That positive message is beautiful. And I jumped on your website and there you have a little tagline that says, happy art for lovely humans.
Yes.
What a great statement. Like, that's it right there. And that's exactly what it is. Happy art. It's beautiful.
It's funny with my Instagram page, especially. Social media has such a, it has a bit of a bad name at times, and it can be full of negativity all over the place. And, even watching the news, you're constantly bombarded with things that just don't make you feel good. And my aim for my page is I wanted to put out there more what I wanted to see myself. So instead of consuming loads of negativity and coming off it feeling a bit rubbish, I wanted people, if they did see it, it might just, brighten the day a little bit or make them feel a bit better and stuff like that. And know that you're not on your own as well. Because even though I think a lot of my messaging is very positive, it's also not denying the fact that we're all humans and, we all feel rubbish from time to time, and that's completely okay. So it's kind of a balance of happy positivity, but with real life as well. That's what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, and that's important. It's not just like what the new label, toxic positivity. It's not that. It is more real life, kind of like affirmations in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And actually, that's funny with affirmations. I only started doing those a year ago, I'd say. I forgot what it's called now, but it's basically it's a book, and it's about getting up early and setting out your affirmations and things like that. And when I started saying these positive things started happening. And like, it was almost like I was attracting those things, and it sounded, it's really strange to even explain it, because it sounds really sort of a bit mystical, but I think it must be whatever you're thinking, you sort of then attract more into your life. Yeah. So I love it.
Yeah, I just recently discovered that there's actual science behind affirmations. Yeah. They help us create new neural pathways in our brain, kind of taking that negative and making it more positive. And I was like, oh my God, there's actual science behind affirmations. I love that.
Wow, that is amazing. Right? Wow.
Yeah. So they do work. And I kind of had a similar experience for, I started journaling and just like doing a lot of self-reflecting. And so I added affirmations and I said them, I kind of stuck with 5 core affirmations. I said them every day, no matter what. And I just noticed a shift. It was like a crazy experience.
Yeah. And like you said, it's you, the more that you focus in and repeat, it's almost like if you weren't feeling too confident about something, by saying I am confident with it, you then started being confident. But like you say, that makes sense if there's science behind it, that actually says we get these new pathways that, you start to believe it, which is brilliant.
I know, it's fascinating. And I think that's why I really enjoy your artwork. So let's talk about, how did you come up with the name 2711? Because I love it.
My birthday. The long and short of it is it's my birthday. And I sort of wanted something that is, is personal to me, but also if there ever got to a stage where I ended up having a team of people, that it would still be fine for people to use, rather than it being something like with my name in it, or something like that. I felt like it had room to grow if that ever happened. Yeah. So it's my birthday.
I love that. That's really cool. Very unique. I not a thought to put that together like that. Well, what brought you to creating this? Like, was it just that you're at that crossroads and you said, hey, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go for it?
Basically, yeah, that's kind of it. I just thought, and I've been a very hands-on sort of person, and I love that freedom, but I do also like constraints. So that's why I like being a graphic designer as well. So I have like my client briefs with all their constraints and stuff like that, follow the rules, but then I can inject some of my creative mind on it, if that makes sense. It's the same with like my latch up kits that I've been making. I would do all sorts of crafts. You'd just find me doing it all the time, from cross stitch to latch up kits, you name it, plasticine, mouldy things, anything I do. I'd like make my own little bookmarks and all sorts of stuff. I just do that all the time. So with my latch up kits, I discovered that some of the designs out there are still the same as they were 25 years ago. They're awful. They're so bad. And I thought there's room here to do something nice and bold and happy and bright and cheerful and get other people doing it as well. Because it's such an easy craft to do and it's so relaxing. It's like when I draw or when I do the latch hook, I sort of just switch off and my brain empties and I'm just really chilled out doing it. So I wanted to sort of do that and put it out there for other people to enjoy as well.
I love that. And that's a great message too, because I think a lot of people struggle with the thought of meditation and just sitting still for any amount of time. Yeah. And I enjoy like music and journaling. And so I think it's that same kind of thing. Whatever it is for you, if it's a meditative state, it takes you to a calm, peaceful place. That's fantastic. And, I also sew and do some quilting. And for me, when I'm in that space, nothing else exists around me.
Yes, that's the beauty of it. I absolutely love it. I'd say, an hour or two would pass and I wouldn't have even noticed. But it's just that freedom from our busy minds all the time because we're constantly chattering away to ourselves.
I absolutely agree with you. Well, I'm always curious when you start your own business and you're doing your own thing, you're working with people, there's always a learning curve. Have you ever had something happen that you're just like, oh my God, and learned like a huge lesson? How do you flip your brain, your mindset, and kind of move forward after something like that?
Well, I wouldn't say I've had too many of those, thankfully, but yeah, thankfully. However, I have had the past couple of years as I've sort of been growing and developing my own business for me, I've started recognizing boundaries. And there was one client that I had, and I think it was actually my birthday, and I was still working on something of theirs at like 7:00 at night, and for a minimal amount of money as well. It wasn't great. And then also then that weekend they were ringing up and things like that, and I thought, hold on, this is not okay anymore. Like there's certain things here that have just been crossed. You've got to respect your own boundaries, and then other people will do as well. So that was one. And then another client came to me a couple of weeks ago and asked me to pitch for some work, and then the actual work no longer excites me anymore. So even though I've worked with them for quite a few years, at first I was like, oh, and then I thought, well, I don't have to do that work anymore. So I actually said I was going into a new direction and things like that. So I actually stepped away from that particular job. So again, that was definitely a learning curve, because even though the initial reaction was thinking, oh, you're turning work away, you can't do that, you're going to have no business left. It was actually the freedom now is, oh no, now you can get on with the other things that you wanted to do, you've got time for, and that lightened me up as well. So that was good.
That's a great example of setting boundaries and then also using the power of no. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to get in that mode of it's okay to say no. You don't have to take everything on.
Yeah, definitely. And we don't need to come up with like 100 reasons and apologies as to why it's no. It's just, it no longer serves me. So.
Mm-hmm. And I love it. You said it kind of lightened things up for you. And if you had taken it on, it just would have been, you wouldn't have enjoyed it. If you take it on, sure, you can say yes, absolutely, but you're probably going to be miserable through the whole project or event or whatever it is you're taking on.
Definitely. And you don't want that resentment in your work.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your latch hook kits, because I think they're adorable. And I'm hoping to get a couple of pieces of your artwork for your latch hooks that I can put on this video and share so people can kind of see them, because they're so bright and colorful and fun. They just make you smile. And I go, oh, I get to share this. I want to share this with everybody. How do you get one?
How do you get one? So if you're in the UK, you can go to my website, which is studio2711.co.uk. And if you're anywhere else in the world, you can search for 2711 on Etsy, and they are on there.
Okay, yes. Well, they're just adorable. I don't know if you have one close.
Yeah, I do. Actually,
yes.
Oh, this was my first one, and this is the fried egg. Oh, yeah. They are super fun. In another learning curve, I had one from Canada, and she ordered 4 of them, and my instinct was, wow, that's amazing. But then 2 seconds later, I was like, oh, like what if she doesn't think they're good enough and things like that? And you're like, what is that about? You just literally sabotage yourself for no reason. Honestly. It's so strange.
It's so natural. It is a natural thing to go, oh, why would they want 4? Like, what is this about? I was just talking to my daughter.
So strange.
Yes, about something very similar. It's that you just immediately start with some crazy story in your head that why would they want what you have to offer? Why would anyone want that?
It's so silly. But the good thing is to be able to, well, I've started doing it the past few years, is to be able to recognize it. And as soon as you recognize that, hold on, no, that's what I'm saying to myself is not true. You know, you can sort of, might take a little while, but you can step back and recognize that it isn't true. It's, you know, the fact is somebody bought 4 of them, so yippee, like, you know, be joyful for that, not thinking the absolute worst.
Oh my goodness, it was so funny. Yes, I remember when you were putting that together. I think you did like a little live video on Instagram, and I was like, look how cute that is. And you have several designs.
Yes, I do. Have got them. Do you want me to show them?
Grab them. I love it.
1 second.
Yes. The strawberry.
And they're really soft as well. They're really good. Love them. Yes. And then there's the star one.
And that's purple, right?
And that's what, sorry?
That has purple in the background?
Purple, yeah. 2 different shades of purple. And then this one as well, which is a love heart one. So that's all got like pastel colours. It's almost like, I don't know if you have the sweets over in America, the love hearts.
Oh yeah, the ones that have the little sayings on them.
Yeah. So it's like those kind of colours from that, because I like all that playful, you know, like sweet packages and things like that. A lot of inspiration, I guess, comes from all those bright colours and things.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you is, where do you get your inspiration? Because the colors are just, I love them because they're vivid and fun and bright and cheery. Like all those words come to mind, and they do just make you smile. So where does that come from?
Yeah, I think it is from early, well, kind of retro sweet packages. Also, well, one person that I did love when I was growing up was Nick Park, who does Wallace and Gromit. So absolutely love all things Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep. Tim Burton was a huge one as well for me. So even though his style is more dark and, you know, very surreal almost, I just love his creativity and his, you know, his mind is just marvelous. But I equally love all sort of Nick Park's like creations, and they're all super bright and colourful. And I think just we all need a bit more colour in our lives, I think.
Yeah.
Really. And that's the beauty of using bright colours and things like that. I think it can just make your designs much more cheerier and much more happier almost. Even though I do use quite a lot of black, but I do offset that with super bright colours over the top. That's what I like to do at the moment. And I think that makes all the colours sort of pop out. So I'm enjoying playing around with that at the moment.
Yeah, I do. I love your work. I think it's fantastic. And I love that line, happy art for lovely humans. It's just wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, okay, so we know how to connect with you. We know how to purchase one of the latch hook kits. I will put all of the links in so that everybody can just easily click on and connect with you and your shop, because I think what you do is amazing. And I know the other side of it, that's a little different kind of piece, a little bigger piece, heavier work.
Yeah.
Is that the piece that you love, or?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. So my design side of things, the website's 2711.co.uk rather than Studio 2711. And on there is much more my actual design services, which is, ranges from all sorts of things, artwork through to branding, through to illustration, anything and everything that you can see or think that needs designing. That's what I like to do, but it tends to be more in the creative industries, so art, culture and lifestyle things. I think for me it's almost as well like I wanted, because years ago I used to work a lot for business to businesses and very heavy corporate work, and I just found I just don't like it anymore at all. It really, if you're going to be doing something every day, like we were saying before, you want to be filled with some sort of satisfaction and joy while you're doing it. So I've sort of finally sort of pushed those to one side, and I only take on work that sort of excites me when I see it.
Yeah, well, when I was looking at the website, there's some pretty unique photographs on there that I was like, oh, wow, very cool. So I can see where it's the art and the culture piece that would be fun.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, no, that's where it's headed. And like I said, it's learning to say no to certain things when they come along and being okay with it. And I think I'm getting there. Mm-hmm. Every day is a challenge, but slowly but surely getting there.
Yeah, and sometimes I think that saying no comes from scarcity. Like we feel like we have to say yes because what if nothing else comes along, which is so not true. There's so much out there, so much opportunity, so much possibility. It's just, if we can encourage anyone to like let go of that story you're telling yourself, let go of it.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing as well is that I've sort of recently been thinking to myself, it's going to sound a bit dramatic, but it's who cares? As in, nobody cares. Who cares if you look a bit of a wally, or is it like if you do something or you make a mistake or you put something on Instagram and you think, oh, what will other people think? Like, who cares? Nobody cares. And but it's been such a freeing thought when I've started applying that to things I do. It's enabled me to put things out there and just put it out there, because who cares? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
In the grand scheme of things, it does not. No. And that's a beautiful message, because there are so many people that have something in them that they really want to share, but they're so afraid of what other people will say or think. And it's like, trust me, they're already thinking or saying it. So just put it out there.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. 100%. Yes. And what's the worst that can happen is just have a little bit of faith in yourself and just recognize that no one really cares. They care as in they care about you, but nobody cares because which is just such a freeing thought for me anyway.
Yeah, I love that. What a great message. And I think that's a great place to kind of wrap up. Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming on and sharing what I call a fantastic, positive, bright message. Like, just beautiful. Thank you.
No, thanks for having me on here, Cassie, as well, and always supporting me, because I always notice whenever you pop up. So thank you. It means a lot.
I do. I share your artwork a lot because it's just beautiful and it's always positive. So thanks for putting it out there.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely. And to everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in, listening, watching. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you soon.